On this video, I'm going to show you how to evaluate patterns that you may use for border corners, and I will also show you some solutions for some problems you may run into. I'd like to start off by saying that some of the original patterns used before this function was available may not work properly with the automated border corner feature in Creative Studio 6. However, I'm going to show you what to look for and how to adjust your settings to help make patterns work. The loops border and loop corners work well because the start and end points are positioned correctly and the margins are spaced evenly all the way around. Margins are not always consistent. In the past, corners and borders were placed by hand, so margins did not need to be consistent between the corner and the border. But now that we have automated placing, it is critical. Accurate measurements are also necessary. Errors can result from not measuring the quilt properly or from not square quilts. CS depends on the user giving an accurate quilt length in decimal form. You must have enough space to place in the corners and side borders. If you change things after setup, then the border corner could be off. Do not change the vertical length of patterns at any point or the pattern will not match up over the total quilt, except for the last section of the side border at the bottom of the quilt. Correct identification of border pattern types and orientation is essential. As you can see, our button daisy pattern are not cooperating with us like the loop pattern. The type and orientation might need to be changed. See, not all patterns are designed as upper left orientation. So I'm going to change this to upper right. Now, not all corners are L-type, and they fit better with this border piece if they're placed as square or square-oriented. So let's try square. And that's not right either. So let's try square-oriented. Oh, that looks better. As you can see, the margins are all even and they fit the corners correctly. Okay, let's move on for another example. Some corner borders are not designed to connect. Changing connect fixes this sometimes, but not in this case. These patterns are not designed to connect. If I try to connect them, true, it just goes back to false. Okay, let's try an example of this loops pattern. As you can see, these are not connected. And it says connected false. So I'm going to change this back to true. Now you can see they are connected. The button daisy 1 pattern, if you use that as a corner in a border corner, it's not drawing properly. If you want to use that, you need to modify it like this one here, button daisy 1 modified. Flora flower triangle pattern cannot be used in border corners as it is. It has no sew lines in it, as the end point is here and the pattern ends on the left instead of the right. And we can right click on that, go down to options, remove no sew lines. Now the end is on the right, and resave that by going to export, CSQ, and save that. With the automated border corner feature, your borders need to be the same size on the side and the top. As you can see on the screen, This one, the sides are smaller than the top, and that's not going to work well. So be sure your border corners and the sides are all the same size for this to work well. And that is all for evaluating and fixing your patterns for border corners.